Hello, I'm William Michael of the Classical Liberal Arts Academy, and today a student wrote with a question in classical grammar that as I started to type a response, I said, I think this needs a little more explanation, so I might as well explain it and answer this question with a video. The student wrote and asked about nouns in classical grammar. She asked, about abstract and concrete nouns and whether it's possible that an abstract noun could be a concrete noun. And she also asked for examples of concrete nouns or concrete substantives. So let's talk about that a little bit. When we talk about the parts of speech, we're talking about different classes of words that have different functions in language. We learn that there are substantive nouns, which are names of substantive things, names of substances, and generally speaking, names of substances are substantive nouns. And then names of qualities or attributes are called adjectives. And the reason why they're called adjectives is because they can't stand by themselves. They can't exist by themselves. They have to be joined to a substantive noun. So for example, the word red is an adjective noun, but red cannot be used in a sentence unless it's joined to some substantive, a red ball, for example. So adjectives have to be joined together to substantives in order to make any sense. And so we have substantive nouns and we have adjective nouns. But what this question is about is something related but different. It's about abstract substantives and concrete substantives. This is a more challenging question. Now, the definition in our grammar book, and let's take a look at it real quick. The definition in our grammar textbook for an abstract substantive reads, an abstract substantive is the name of a quality or property. Notice how that relates to the idea of an adjective, but it's not an adjective, it's a substantive. An abstract substantive is the name of a quality or property conceived by the mind as having an independent existence. An abstract substantive is the name of a quality or property conceived by the mind as having an independent existence. So what is this talking about? An abstract substantive, it's a substantive noun, but it's abstract. That means it's drawn away from something, from in this case, from material things, and we'll see that in a minute. But an abstract substantive, what it really is a name of a quality that we use in the form of an adjective to modify a substantive noun. So for example, if I say, the girl is loving, the girl is loving, loving is an adjective that describes the girl. But if I wanted to talk about that quality as an idea that exists by itself, I wouldn't use loving. I would use a different form of that word. I would use love. And love would be the name of that quality, which I can use in the form of an adjective to describe someone. So love is the name for the quality. Loving is an adjective. And then that adjective would need to modify a substantive noun. But love is a substantive, but it's a quality, and therefore it's abstract. It's not a concrete thing, not a material thing. It's good to think of it in terms of material, something sensible. But it's a quality or a property thought of as existing by itself, even though it may not actually exist by itself. Right? Does love really exist by itself, or is it simply taking a quality that's used to describe someone and thinking of it abstractly? Okay, so that's a little bit of a complicated question, but An abstract substantive is the name of a quality or property, and our book says, conceived by the mind as having an independent existence. So it's conceived by the mind as having an independent existence, but it doesn't necessarily have an independent existence. It may just be an idea of how we think of things. Some people will argue that anything that can be conceived of the mind is therefore necessarily real. That's a philosophical question. But just to review here, an abstract substantive is the name of a quality or property, like love, happiness. Okay, so think of words that end in N-E-S-S, ness. We take an adjective and add ness to the end of it, and we have a substantive idea. Conceived by the mind as having an independent existence. That's an abstract substantive noun, not to be confused with an adjective. Not to be confused with an adjective. Secondly, here in Article 24, we read the definition of a concrete substantive. As distinguished from abstract substantives, the names of things that really exist are called concrete. The names of things that really exist are called concrete substantives. So there we see the difference between an abstract substantive and a concrete substantive. A concrete substantive, we're told, is a name of a thing that really exists. And again, this question of whether something really exists is actually debated in philosophy, whether an abstract substantive does in fact really exist, or whether only sensible individual things are capable of really existing. That's a philosophical question that you'll see us take up when we study classical reasoning. But an abstract substantive is the name of a thing that exists in the mind, which signifies some quality or property. And I said, love is an example, happiness, goodness, gentleness, any quality, and like I said, in English, that suffix ness usually identifies an abstract substantive. And we would use abstract substantives to form adjectives, or we could say that abstract substantives are formed from adjectives, all right? And then a concrete substantive is the name of a thing that really exists. So think of something that actually exists in the flesh, something material, all right, like the sun, the earth, a man, Socrates, and so on, okay? Abstract substantives are the names of qualities that are conceived in the mind as having their own existence, whether they do or not. Concrete substantives are the names of things which we could say exist outside the mind, in the material world or in the sensible world. But we could also say God and angels would be concrete substantives. And so you can see that these grammar lessons, they're helpful, but at the same time, without the study of philosophy and theology, we can't really get into these topics because they get complicated. But I hope that gives you a general idea of the difference between abstract substantives, concrete substantives, and adjectives, which, remember, relate to this discussion. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. If you have any more questions, just get in touch. God bless.